Irn Bru, made in Scotland from girders. Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video. Wanted to do a little different kind of video this time. Wanted to do a taste test thing. I'll be doing a different bunch of videos to do with food on this channel, in addition to all the gaming stuff. I saw a video recently on BuzzFeed called Americans Try International Sodas, Part 2 specifically. I'll put a link down in the description below, where a bunch of Americans try a bunch of different sodas from around the world. And Irn Bru is among the ones that they tried. And they thought it was okay. They weren't terribly thrilled with it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about Irn Bru, because I actually had some. I used to live in Britain for a few years back in the 80s. And I remember seeing Irn Bru, and it had these hilarious commercials. So it kind of roped me in, and I tried it out. And I liked it back then. I haven't drunk it in years, so when I saw that video from BuzzFeed, I thought, hey, I don't think that's fair the way they were reviewing it, so I'll do a review. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, Irn Bru, it's been around for over 100 years. It's the number one, or at least up until recently, it was the number one soda in Scotland. Actually above Coca-Cola, if you can believe it. So, hugely successful brand. Actually started in 1901, so that gives you an idea. And what's interesting is originally it didn't say this sort of play on words, Irn Bru. It was actually iron, I-R-O-N, and then B-R-E-W. But there was a law passed in the 40s that apparently you couldn't use the word brew in a drink unless it was actually brewed. And since this is a soda, doesn't actually get brewed, so they had to change it, and the Bar is the company that makes it. The folks at Bar decided to do a play on words and kind of embrace that brogue Scottish spirit and call it, well, Irn Bru the way it's spelled here. So here's to you, Scotland. Now I'm going to have a can of Irn Bru in your honor. So, let's see, what else can I tell you about Irn Bru before I actually drink it? Yeah, actually, I did read up online that the Museum of Scotland in Edinburgh had this exhibit where they wanted to get works of art collected, and they wanted various celebrities, Scottish celebrities obviously, to select from all of these different exhibits what did they think would best represent themselves and best represent the country. And Sean Connery of James Bond fame and various other films actually chose a crate of Irn Bru as his selection. So I just thought, yes, this drink has some pretty big status within Scotland. What else? Oh, actually, I'm up in Canada, and earlier this year, it was in January of this year, 2014. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency here was in Saskatoon, and they seized a whole bunch of British products out of a store in Saskatoon. They had things like Marmite, Ovaltine, Bovril, and Irn Bru was among the things that they confiscated. And there was a funny line I read up. In Britain, The Independent, which is a well-known newspaper there, they actually took a shot at Canada's food watchdogs and said, "In Canada, it is perfectly legal to acquire a firearm and bullets, but Marmite and Irn Bru are apparently a threat to the nation's health." And that was typically British and typically hilarious. And I just thought, yeah, that's worth bringing up. Apparently why the Canadian Food Inspection Agency had done this, grabbed all these items, was they said that in the case of the Marmite, it contained added vitamins that are not permitted under the current food and drug regulations, and that Irn Bru contained color Poncio 4R, which is apparently not allowed in foods for sale in Canada. So, now that was back in January. There's been some changes to the rules. Obviously, I mean, I got this out of a local British store. You can even see it's still got the British price tag on it. So that's changed now. So anyway, on to the cracking of the can. And I'll do a little edit here for effect. All right, so let's crack this can open. I thought it was funny. The BuzzFeed video, the folks who had reasonably nice things to say about Irn Bru said that it tasted like bubblegum, and I don't remember that being the case, but let's find out. Let's give this a crack. All right. I'm not going to spill it out here, but it's actually a very bright orange color when it's in the glass. Anyway, cheers to Scotland, and let's try this out. Oh yeah, actually, I can see where the bubblegum reference comes from. Yeah, it's you would expect, because of the color, you'd expect like an orange drink kind of, like a standard orange pop kind of a flavor, but it's almost got a hint of grape to it, so it's a bit surprising. And I guess, yeah, combined together, I can see where those guys came up with the bubblegum reference. Let's have another little swig here. Yeah. Yep, they're right. It does have actually kind of a bubblegum thing going on, but it's good. It's super tasty. Now, to do any taste test properly like this, you have to actually have some comparisons. So, I prepared in advance Orange Crush and Fanta. Figure, what the heck? Let's get the trifecta going on here of comparisons now. Set him over there. To do a little bit of a palate cleanser to make sure that the taste buds are not too overwhelmed, and to keep with the orange theme, I got myself a little slice of cheese here just to chase that down. So give me a second, pardon me. Okay, so now that I've chased away the bubblegumness of Irn Bru, let's try what it's like compared to Orange Crush. Yeah, I gotta say, actually, in comparison, Irn Bru tastes better. I mean, Crush has got half of the taste of Irn Bru, if you will. Like, it's they're very similar, but it doesn't have that grapish sort of thing that Irn Bru has. Yeah, Orange Crush, and compared to Irn Bru, there's no easy way to describe it. It's got half of the flavor. Irn Bru's got more of the orange and grape, whereas Crush just has the orange, the one that we're all used to. So, put the lid back on there. Pardon me while I do another little palate cleanse. Okay, so that's Crush compared to Irn Bru. Now let's try Fanta. Let's see what we got here. I'm expecting this to be very similar to Orange Crush. I'm pretty sure those flavors are pretty much the same. So, bottoms up. You know what? It's interesting. When you get both Crush and Fanta together, there is a distinct difference between the two of them. Fanta's almost more lemony. I mean, not in a bad way. It's like, if Irn Bru has orange and grape, Crush is just orange. Fanta is like orange and lemon. So now, which one would I say I prefer? I mean, there's part of me that's really wanting to go with Irn Bru because of the sort of nostalgic factor. But then I used to really love Fanta as a kid. Hang on one second. Let me try Irn Bru one more time. After the palate cleanser. Irn Bru is definitely more fizzy. I mean, all of these have just been opened. And it's got like there's this sort of, they're right, popsicle bubblegum kind of effect going on here. One more go with the Fanta. Let's see. Last comparison. I'd definitely say Fanta's better than Crush. And Irn Bru, yeah, I got to give it to Scotland. Irn Bru is actually, it's tastier. It defies description, but I like it more. So, yeah, good on you, Scotland. Now, I would almost want to show you there was some interesting controversy over the years with Irn Bru's advertising, but I don't want to be posting ads on my channel. I'm kind of new at this stuff still, but if you Google or even if you search on YouTube, I'm sure you can find some of those old commercials that Irn Bru used to run. And they were pretty distinctive. That's what kind of drew me into it back in the 80s. But it kind of got the makers in trouble a few times. So Google it, check it out yourself. Kind of interesting. Anyway, so that's the video. I'll get these fellas out of here. But yes, Irn Bru, fantastic stuff. And until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.